Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, damn, this thing is flying up right here. I was thinking we got a kind of London Open fake out for potential long. But price right now is not trending. That's another thing. Not really getting much of a trending market today. We got some resistance here. We have a little bit of rejection wicks on the left-hand side. The London session just opened up. I saw this little liquidity grab situation over here. Was thinking maybe that could be a good confluence for potential long. Let me see. Man, but we have no direction yet here on the daily. Quite a choppy zone, that is. Because it's just taking out the sellers and buyers right now. Hey, morning. It's gonna take quite a bit of work to get through that resistance point. All right. Hope you all are doing well. It's Freaky Friday over here. So end of the week PA. We got Freaky Friday already off to a pretty good start, I guess. Look at this little fake outs that are happening there. Little liquidity grab, it came down. How far did that even dip down? Like 30 pips. Maybe at a re-break of the high, but sheesh. Sheesh. That's quite a fakie right there. Quite a few shocks in there. It's not like a trade where you're super excited about because, you know, on the 5-minute you have those rejection wicks on the left-hand side. So you definitely have a few things in the way. Long USD franc. Swiss franc. Hey, good morning from Kenya. Shout out Kenya in the chat. Man, I'm so proud of Speed. I'm so proud of Speed now. He wears the Kenyan band everywhere he goes. Man, Speed went to Kenya and he was amazed. He was amazed by the amount of support he got there because he doesn't get that kind of support in America or Europe. You know, then Ethiopia was like, all right, hold my beer. But W Speed still rocking that Kenyan band. That's the thing, man. People come to Kenya for the first time. Let me tell you something. If you come to Kenya for the first time, it's going to leave a positive impression on you. It doesn't matter who you are. You see how Speed's still wearing that band? And he was only here for like 2 days. All right. So I'm thinking, what to do? What shall I do? I don't like the way this thing pulled back pretty heavy though. So maybe I'm going to wait for this to clean up a little bit more. I'll wait for this section here to clean up. Wait for something a little bit more obvious. I would wait for a candles to continue to move. Like I wanted to see this next candle over here. This one that turned red to actually be bullish. If that candle went bullish, that would be quite interesting now. Get a re-break of the highs to continue to push upwards. But you see at this point, it's kind of losing steam. There's not so much volume in the market. Looks like the volume kind of died out here a little bit. Morning from South Africa. Morning, good morning. Leave a flag of your country in the chat. Leave an emoji of the country that you're in the chat. Let's see those emojis. Let's see those colors. Those flags. Hey, morning, guys. W speed. Love what the guy is doing. We got a pirate flag. Oh, we got Pirates of the Caribbean here. I'm actually watching Pirates of the Caribbean from the beginning again. Johnny Depp's wife took away Johnny Depp from us from amazing movies, because you know he had that whole lawsuit that was going on, and he lost a lot of movies because of that. So she kind of, I forgot what's her name, Amber Heard. She took away Jack Sparrow from us. We needed so many more Jack Sparrow movies. So I'm watching Pirates of the Caribbean again. Man, what an incredible actor, Johnny Depp. Holy. Alright, see you South Africa, Australia in the chat. Got Kangaroo in here. Got a finish line. Know what the finish line is. Got an Earth. Hey, shout out Woods. I'm also from there. Got Jamaica. Oh, China. Oh, yeah. China, British, Jamaica. Do we get any Ruskis? Тут есть any... Кто живет в Russia или где-то там рядом? Оставь твою флаг в чат. Посмотрим, где ты живешь. Где ты живешь? Все хотим знать. Kenya, India. Let's go. Germany. Yeah, I think we got some boomers in the chat. Some boomers are like, where's flag emoji? How can I find the flag emoji? This is gonna take a little bit of time. Ethiopia. Hey, shout out Ethiopia. Man, I didn't know Ethiopia looked so cool. I watched like Xauusd stream in Ethiopia. I was like, damn, you guys quite developed over there. You guys really got good roads, good infrastructure. I've been to Ethiopia, but I've only been to the airport in Addis Ababa. W Ethiopia. Is price coming down here again? If it breaks his highs, we're going to see some rejections. It seems, because we got clean rage on the downside. I think I'm going to take a sell as we break these lows, chat. Because I see we're rejecting. 5 minutes about to open up. All right, let's see if we can go. So I just took a sell over here. We're about to get a new 5-minute candlestick open. If you're not yet in, wait for that new 5-minute open. Wait for that 5-minute open to break the lows. Here's a 5-minute open, just as an additional confirmation. All right, we did end up breaking the lows. Because the way I'm looking at it, Goldie has rejected. It has rejected that resistance area there. We got a rejection of resistance. So I don't see why we should go back up. Watching to see if this 5 minutes creating top wick. See how the hourly looks. hourly is also rejecting that point. Because I see we tried to come up there a few times and rejected already. We faked out once below the lows. Price came out, took out the highs, and then we have this whole zone over here. Like we have no, what is it? We have no structure. We have no trend today. We have no trend today. So this is just trading within the ranges. For Freaky Friday. See, can we respect? Oh man, this is such a big pullback. Come on, Goldie. All right. No, it doesn't look like it. Man, that was supposed to be such a nice trade though. We have clean range. We've rejected that zone already multiple times. How did it fake out? Like literally, look at this. It took out this low. It took out that high. It came down to take out the low to pull back up. Doesn't make sense. This thing should have just melted here at this point. It's probably going to melt now. Hourly is also bearish right now. Daily time frame is down 0.18%. Clean range on the hourly. 30-minute also looks good. 15, 5-minute. Good morning. Got in time to take the trade, lol. There's 200 EMA below. Maybe that. No, it should have just gone. It should have just gone. This is just a pullback. I don't know why it pulled back up like that. It's already tested this zone multiple times. We already have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rejections. Doesn't really make sense. Candlestick went up, created top wick, rebroke the lows. It's basically like a shotgun play. Shotgun play down towards 4602 over there. I'm also increasing my lot sizes for the London session as well, because of the way price has been performing of late, so quite confident with that. The 3:09 a.m. I should move down. Wondering what's gonna happen here now. Let's see on the 1 minute. Because even if it melts, there's no reason as to test this area again. Because we are already breaking from this zone right here. You know what I mean? Like that test up there was not really necessary. We're ready to go. It was not meant to do that. And look, the 5 minute. Look how the 5 minute just closed. It just flipped there on the last few, literally the last minute. You see this? It managed to push on the last minute here. 314, just so it could close bearish after pulling all the way back up to retest that resistance point. So it wants to come down. It wants to come down. That's the thing. It wants to come down. Not sure why it's struggling over there. Because we're not going anywhere right now anyway. Like prices on the daily 0.21%. Let's see. This is the Asia high right over here. You got Asia high, and then you got support down over there too, right? We're at the top of the general range within this zone. We have multiple rejections, got clean traffic down here. This is actually a pretty nice run opportunity as well, because if it gets through that support, it can keep running down towards next support by 40, 45, 95 area over there. So we have to see a runner down towards here about 22 pips, and then down towards support over there about, you know, like 92 pips. That's what we were to see. But I think if it's chopping up like this, typically what happens, if it's very volatile in this sense, then the breakout that's going to come out from this zone is going to be, it should be pretty strong within this area right over here. See how big was that break? Made 3,500 on that short. It's chopping a lot. I think it's mopping up. That's what it's doing. Let's see what's silver up to. Silver is also chilling here. It's down 1.68%. Yeah, it's the daily on silver hasn't really moved much. It is bearish. It hasn't really moved too much though. I'm more interested to see what Goldie's about to do right here. It might be a little bit of indecision that's currently there. Mainly based off of how the 5 minute here is closing like this. Like strong rejection, closing bearish, and then still re-breaking the lows to pull back up. Might be a little bit of indecision within this section. I gotta see the London Open. London Open, boom, boom, boom. Actually, London Open had about 2 fake outs off the rip. You got one down here and you got one right above here. Came down first, took out the lows, came up, took out the highs. And now I think we're just sipping into some more consolidation phase right now. Because there's low volume. I don't know, for Freaky Friday, if you look over the 15 minute here, like generally speaking, gold market is overall just ranging. So you have like resistance and you have support right over here, correct? We're just moving overall sideways. Yep. Looks like we're just gonna move sideways. Let me see Forex Factory. What do we have today? Today we have Bank of England Bailey speaking. But besides from that, there's actually nothing. We don't have any fundamentals to look out for. Hello, sir. Price has been choppy since yesterday. Yeah, it's been choppy. Let's see. Unemployment claims at 8:30. Anyone else have this weird trading view video window? I can't get rid of this window. It keeps opening up. I can't get rid of it. And if I close it here, it closes the whole trading view. Yesterday, I think trading view had like some kind of an update, because even my watch list sometimes was like not loading on my phone. Kept saying some kind of a weird issue over there. Oh yeah, this is quite choppy. Look at gold overall. Since well, Monday was a nice trending day though. But I guess this week overall on gold has been kind of choppy. I wonder why. We're right by the all-time highs too. Maybe setting up for like next week. Next weekly candlestick over here. Weekly open, no bottom wick. Previous week, no bottom wick. Could be setting up. Hourly's looking pretty decent here. For an accumulation break. See where the lows. These are the highs. Then we got a minor accumulation right over here. I feel like gold is about to seriously either move. It's either going to seriously skyrocket up or retrace down heavily. One of those two. I have to keep refreshing my browser today. I don't know what it is. Something weird with TradingView. But today seems fine for me. It was just yesterday. Yesterday was a problem. I want to see where gold is gonna go though. Quite interested to see like what side it's gonna distribute from. Because now it just extended this range right over here. From what I see from volume, it's just trying to go up. It'll be wild if it breaks this low right here and then actually pulls back up again. Also, there's another section right here too. It's kind of almost behaving like sometimes when there's usually like news that's about to hit. You see price act a little bit frantic shortly before like a red folder. Yeah, we got like one fakey above here, one fakey below here, another one here, another one here. These are just pullbacks because I think what's happening is it's trying to go up. Right? It's taking out the lows and it's trying to push upwards, but somewhat struggling a bit there. It's like a wait. It's like a wait until the buyers give way completely. And you know it's a Friday. It's a Friday, right? So we've seen on the weekends, usually news are going to come out on the weekend that can help gold on the Monday open skyrocket up. So maybe people are trying to price in some longs to hold over the weekend. But as far as fundamentals go, they're quite slow right now. We don't really have any tensions regarding what's happening in the Middle East with Iran. So military US involvement is low on that. We've got many headlines of profit taking and overall markets consolidating. See, gold edges lower amid adapting geopolitical risks. Gold edges lower in earlier Asia session. According to US officials, President Trump was advised that a large-scale strike against Iran was unlikely to make the government fall and could spark wider conflict. And for now, we'll watch how Tehran handles protests before determining the scope of potential attack. A slight easing in geopolitical tensions has helped temper immediate safe haven demand. Yeah, some investors have opted to lock in profits. That's what we're seeing quite a lot here. Overall on Goldie, a lot of consolidation, a lot of waiting. I think it's like waiting for the next catalyst. That's what it's doing. It's waiting for the next sort of thing that's going to help us continue to see the ATH a little bit more often. So possibly might get it next week. We just gotta wait and see and monitor this. We haven't seen this PA on gold in quite some time. When was the last time we even saw that? Here, maybe in... Oh, yeah, that was in... Oh, December. Yeah, surprisingly, in December. December over here. But December had a lot of... Wait, I think I need to go on a higher time frame. Let's go on the 4-hour. Yeah, so we can better see it. December? December wasn't so bad. It's a little bit more opened up. Also here. It reminds me a bit more of like a range like this. But this was in... I remember this. This was a range we got stuck in. Remember this range? This was... Wait, what? This is the... This is the beginning of December. Okay, I see what happened. I see where I got confused there, chat. I was looking at the 4-hour as if like it's a daily. Because it was kind of reminding me, I don't know, of this time on the daily when we were really ranging before price started breaking out. I think it was right here. This was from April to when we got the FOMC in August. I remember this range. This was crazy range here to trade. Then we got the FOMC, we got the first interest rate decision, and then price continued to move up bullish. Then it like cleaned up a lot. So I guess we're definitely still on the bull run. I see we're still rejecting this support over here, but in terms of the kind of medium term time frames, like from this week, we've been seeing a bit more sideways PA. I think this was Monday right there. Yeah, that was a market open. So Monday gave us a really nice push, and then Tuesday up towards Friday, we've just been kind of stuck inside this zone. See, Goldie's trying to break up now again. Let's see. I think it just did like a small little reversal play on this section right over here. So that little accumulation broke below it, and then started consolidating. Reversal play, taking out the highs. Right by let's see, where's this? 46.10. Yeah, so it just took out the highs right here. It's pulling down. So I see it's kind of like breaking what it's doing. It's kind of breaking the what do you call it? The fringes of this section here, and then pulling down, pulling up, like it did right down here or right here, and it did like right up here. And it's only setting the breakouts which are playing out inside this zone. So like from this wick to that wick, it's like 60 pips. Now it's giving another whip up here. So I think like that would be the safest, and I guess they're either gonna be getting trades within the consolidation, because you're not gonna get the breakouts. The breakouts are gonna pull you back in, or just wait for it to break out properly and then get that momentum. Get that momentum and then trade without momentum. As the London session here is opening up, getting a little bit more data. This would have been beautiful though. Look at that. It would have been a lot easier for price to actually like come down, retest this, and then come down towards this zone after rejecting those highs right over there. See, like that. And that's kind of like the candle which sells it out and tells you like, okay, so price has now succumbed to this section and it's ready to move down, right? That should have been the candle. And then re-break of the lows, especially after pulling up to retest one more time. I think should have at least met 46.02. About like 19.8 pips, but looks like it couldn't. Low volume, so it started pulling back up again like this, breaking the highs and then ripping back down. Yeah, very tricky PA. You wanna I would say you wanna stay clear from this zone unless you wait for it to just generally break out of this general area here, right? Because this is like when you're gonna get more information, you're gonna understand better what the market wants to do. But when you're like right here, you still don't know because it's still fresh. You know, you still kind of see like the fake outs happen here and here, but it's still relatively soon to say like what could happen, correct? And then you just wait a bit longer, you get a little bit more data, I guess, after that situation. And you're like, okay, so I see what's going on here now. Hey Sadiq, good morning Brian. Yeah, we gotta see a break. Where can we break? At least if next week, going into next week, if we can move away from this general zone, like at least start breaking above some kind of resistance points, like right here. That's by 46.20. I think that's gonna be pretty nice. And that's just gonna give me a lot more clean space to trade. Potentially up towards the ATH. Because you're gonna have a clean range from here to here. That's about, 144 pips. But this zone, oh, gotta be kind of careful here, I guess. A bit of a shock in the water because I also see with my trade this morning, which was just a this was a market fade setup as price breaks these lows for price to continue coming down towards 45.98. It still played out, but it looks like it needed to where did I secure about like 16 pips on that right here. 16. It looks like it needed to take out the highs. You see like how it pulled up like this? You have usually like candlesticks go back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take out the high right over here so it can continue to move down. Because typically it shouldn't need to do this part. You know, like especially like such a deep, because you see it just predominantly went for the high right over here. Just to like slowly peak above it. Just slowly peak above it because that's where more orders would be for like sellers looking to correct the range. Because it's the only point of structure. It would make sense for it to keep pushing up because there's not much structure beyond that point. It would have to then push up like a lot more towards maybe the next like resistance points, right? So this is like the most recent little bit of structure that it had. Just needed to peak a little bit so it can take out people before it pays like the full move. So yeah, I think I noticed like a little bit of a shock there as well in terms of that. Right over there. And then coming to the London session, you can see with these breaks right here and pulling up, down, and this break and pulling up. But I didn't think like, damn, like, are we really just gonna range on Friday? Is that what we're gonna do like for the rest of Friday? Because you know this trade played out, but there still was a shark, right? Some people are gonna take these positions and have a bigger stop loss, for example, right? They could have like a bigger stop loss, expecting maybe their one-to-ones are gonna take like a little bit longer to achieve. Correct. So for me, I managed to get out of it. So I was like, okay, you know, maybe not too bad. But now looking at it like this in hindsight, it seems like Friday might just be a freaky Friday. You can see a few wicks over here too. Pretty strong rejection wick. Got a fake out here. That's that doji. Yeah, we might just have a freaky Friday on our hands. Usually on Freaky Friday, I would say like the volume... You want to pay attention on the sessions from session to session. So if we start heading towards like pre-New York and it starts to open up a bit more, then it would be a little bit more appetizing to trade. As long as it's not wicking a lot, you know, as long as you're not getting a bunch of wicks and a bunch of like pullbacks, etc. Then I think it'll be a good idea. But right now we just got to wait. We just got to wait and see if price can at least break away from this general zone. Bro, price is in a horrible range. Yes, sir. Remember, don't spam caps. If you spam caps, it's just gonna remove it. The message. Sellers from all-time highs are holding it though. Oh, sellers from ATH holding? I don't know. Maybe they're holding, maybe. It's coming towards the fringes of the consolidation. Let's see how it behaves through this section right here. I want to see it break below, what's that, 4604? 4604, and then see how that's going to react. Yeah, that's going to be that 5-minute support. I mean, on the 5-minute, it looks like another fakie right here. So you got one here, and you got another one here. So, you know, the interesting part, it's like it's showing more resistance towards the highs. So generally, like, it should have a less hard of a time to move down. If you look at this, there's a lot more speed bumps right up here for a bullish move. A lot more speed bumps. But towards the lows, it would be, generally speaking, like a little bit easier for price. Even if it just spikes through that area for a bit more to see if it can grab some orders to break above it, or if it wants to move up, it should be able to at least give like around, you know, I guess from now at this point, since we've created a support, we're gonna get about like 18 pips or so towards this next support area. But yeah, okay, let's see. Now it's breaking. See, did it fully break the zone? No, yeah, it came pretty close. See the 5 minute. We got about 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3 minutes or so before the next 5 minute opens. It should just break. I wonder why it's like testing this zone so many times. It doesn't make sense. Like, typically when gold picks a direction, it's gonna go in that direction. It doesn't need to retest zones that many times. You know, it's starting to break. If that pulls up, that's wild. That's crazy. Imagine pulls up, creates a new high to come back down again. It's got to push down at least towards like 46.02 for a little bit more of a meaningful move. Battling slightly with that 8 SMA. It's in a range, chat. It's in a range. It needs to break out. Got Nas today. German 40, no entry. Damn, it actually pulled up again. Let's see what the Owly is doing. Owly's got some clean candle on the left hand side. It could come down towards that support. It's like 54 pips. Down towards 45.97. 45.98 level right there. See 30 minute rejections as well. I like the way the 30 minute 8 SMA is still holding like that section right here. I really do think if it's gonna move anywhere, it should tumble. I really like these rejection wicks. I guess it's just battling between our SMAs on the 30, since we're kind of chopped up in between. See, Owly's clean range. You see, for the Owly, it's at our Owly resistance more than it's at our Owly support. So you got some room there. See, ideally we'll grab from 45.80 on the HDF, then fly up. Damn, Goldie. Yeah, I see that bunch of rejections here. It tried to pull up. This is what I mean. It's quite interesting because it's like buyers want gold, obviously, to go up. But at the same time, there's not enough of them to move price anywhere significantly bullish. And the sellers are taking over, but then the buyers keep coming in. But it's like created a, what do you call, like a gridlock. Because there's no, if you look at the macroeconomic environment of gold spot, right, there's no fundamentals which are very clean cut at the moment. So we're also seeing that being reflected on the chart. We can see with the technicals too. I think the only breakout I've seen that's played out so far is this one right here. You had this one fail. That one's played out. And now this one is in play. But that one looks like it's struggling as well. So breakouts are not playing out right now. You know, the thing about breakouts, the breakouts are only going to play when there's some kind of a sense of direction in the market, you know? When markets are moving like a bit smoother. So for example, if you look at this PA, this PA here is a little bit cleaner. You can see price move up like this, and then you can see this volume, right? Like it's moving properly. Volume create a support, little market fade. Like it's moving, generally speaking, a little bit better over here, right? And if you look at this PA, for example, there's no direction. So whenever there's no direction, you get most of the time a higher probability of getting pulled into a position. But you see that, you know, the thing, you're gonna see that in hindsight, and that's why you shouldn't overtrade a session, because in the beginning it could look good, right? It could look good, but it's only later that you see in hindsight that that it could have just been chopping. Could have been the same situation here as well. It could look good in the beginning. You see how it's like pretty nice. Volumes coming in, candlesticks look big. It could have simply just consolidated even here at this point if this candle did not continue to distribute downwards. That's why you shouldn't overtrade. Just give this candlesticks time, because it could be even waiting for the hourly to close here in about 16 minutes before anything, you know. So just gotta keep waiting. There's another accumulation break. It's trying to re-break the lows. Massive range. So re-breaks these lows. Should move down. If it comes back up to take these highs, then at that point, then it should pull up then stronger, because it would have no business taking out these highs if it didn't want to reverse on these potential positions right over here. Let's see, gold steady near 4,600 after a record run, pauses for breath. Okay, now it's trying to push down a bit more. Looks like the bigger one played out. This overall range here. But almost didn't. It almost didn't. See how it accumulated right here? It kind of wanted to... I think what it's trying to do is like trying to shake out. But it did it with less violence because the pullbacks are not as strong. It was about like maybe 15 pips pullback on that one. Let's see what this is saying. Gold steady near 4,600 after record run, pauses for breath, more upside. Gold rally goes sideways. Price is still up for the week. Silver post 13% weekly pop. Precious metal eased up on attitude a little bit after touching an all-time session earlier this week. Gold catches its breath. East towards 4,600 earlier Friday, tagging 4,650. Alright, the metal is still up about 2% on the week, which is gold's terms counts as calm consolidation, not panic selling. That said, how much more room to the upside is there for gold bugs? After all, gold was absolutely crashing it last year, about 65%. The answer may lie both in fundamental and technical aspects. Yeah, I would say it's mainly to do with fundamentals though, because you can see things a little bit more calm right now, so there's nothing bolstering gold. Better than expected US data cooled rate cut hopes, pushing dollar towards a third straight weekly gain. Alright, and we got dollar doing well. Stronger dollar makes gold prices a non-yielding, a non-USD buyer's basic FX math. Painful execution for late longs. Alright, let's see. Trend follow is still in control, but much of gold's rallies isn't about headlines. It's trend following flows. Systematic buying that doesn't care about daily reminders or forgets. Yeah, I mean, in terms of trend following, that daily is still being respected quite nice, that support. So it's not a show like shift of character or anything like that. Let's see, low rate expectations, geopolitical hedging, central bank demand remaining the bigger picture, fueling underneath the chart. All right. As long as gold holds this is support by 45.84. As long as the whole 45.84, then that should be quite good. If it breaks below 45.84, then there's 1,120 pip drop towards that next support by 44.57. So as long as the buyers can still support this area here, I think, we're going to see some more upside. But if buyers lose control of this section, then obviously now sellers are coming in. And it's like a game, right? So they have to protect this area. This is their defense, that support. If they lose that defense, then they're going to be kind of vulnerable. Right? Unless they got a Trojan horse. I mean, like Trojan horse right here on that SMA. But potentially that's going to come up by the time the day ends a little bit more. Sometimes you're going to see that SMA is like a Trojan horse, right? Because it'll allow price to go down and then it will tap into it like this as a dynamic support to come back upwards, such as that. So even if you get a candlestick close below this area over here, it could still react off of that dynamic support. So yeah, I would say that's like the main thing we're looking at as we go into the new week up ahead, is to see how price is going to respect this zone. I mean, I would rather have us like break that area if we're going to break that area, because it's going to create a lot of like fresh PA for us to trade, right? If we break below this zone. But if we stay here, then we have to keep dealing with this accumulation, which is not good. Not good. You see, it's a tricky one, because for us to create all-time highs, we need some kind of like fundamentals, right? Hopefully something happens over the weekend and price can break above these highs and then continue to move up bullish. But you see, if gold doesn't want to sell off and it holds this section, then we're just going to have to range as we wait for news, correct? We're just going to range. But if we break these lows, then we can just have a retracement, a healthy pullback. Gold has overall been bullish. We had a crazy push during Monday. So it would be better if we just had a healthy pullback and then reattempt the ATH when we see that there's news that can support the idea of a price to continue moving upwards. Otherwise, then we're stuck in this range, just people holding the bag basically and thinking, oh man, any moment now we're gonna go up. And then that means we gotta deal with like a lot of choppiness for day traders. So I'm a day trader, and I'm a scalper, so, or even day traders, you're still gonna get affected by that bag holding. Because I trade gold, chat. Like, I predominantly trade gold. I don't trade GG or anything, so I want gold to move. I don't trade GG anymore, but what if gold ranges? Then what? Go back to GJ? Never. I will never go back to GJ. GJ's got a nice little 12 pip range here towards our resistance. Say it just closed below the support, but how's that daily bias? Daily bias? Or it's down, but it's only down by 0.17%. See a little shotgun that played out here previously. I think with GJ, it's like low pips, so I gotta use like a bigger lot. Instead of using maybe like a 5 lot, I gotta use like a 9.5. Yeah, this is supposed to be the run opportunity. You see how it like broke below here? I broke below the zone. It still has a fresh, clean traffic towards that next support as well. Right here, look at this. Still got about 51 pips. See this? Broke below that support. Should have come. as a running opportunity, you see, but it's retesting. If it comes too far deep inside, it may take out some of these breakout traders here. I think if you're a breakout trader, you kind of see it, but if you're trading fair value gaps, you're not going to understand it too much. But yeah, as it's coming in a break, only if it pulls back up a lot more. Because you see, it happened like towards, the problem with that, it's happening, the breakout's happening towards the 5-minute support. Whereas if it happened here, you're going to have a little bit more room before it taps that 5-minute support to give the market room to breathe. Right, but the breakout's happening right here, so you might have to endure more drawdown if you think you can get past this zone. Because this is the next zone, which is quite interesting actually, because a candlestick did close below that support. You can see it right here. It did close below that support, and it confirmed a little bit of momentum as well to push downwards, but now it's ripping back up. So basically that's how it is. Like sometimes what do you call it, the market balance, not the universe, the market balances a certain plays like this. So for people who like get on these retracements, if they're Fibonacci's or fair value gaps, sometimes you're gonna have now the opposite, the inverse happen. So let's say if you get like a setup like this, and then you're getting your fair value gap, price would just go through them, right? Price just go, especially in like trending market conditions, it would just go through those levels, correct? But you see, like when markets are not trending, then the people who look for that sort of action, they get stuck in that situation of when price comes down and then does the opposite. So you see, like in the end, given just enough time, you will see every strategy will have like a time when markets will operate in their favor and a time when markets won't operate in their favor. Correct? So that's why whenever you look at every trade, just look at it for just another trade in the books. It's just another trade in the books, because you have to be able to accept that different markets are going, like different market conditions are going to exist. So it's important to recognize that, and then just, you know, just sit on your hands and, you know, just keep watching and waiting for that PA that you would like to see, instead of like revenge trading, right? So that's why I always give myself like time in between sessions. So if I give myself session pre-London, London, pre-NY, again, now I'm using time to my advantage to allow the market to give me my edge back again. Because if you don't see your edge here, there's a pretty high chance for a duration of time that you're going to be on the chart, your edge is not going to appear, which is going to lead in more unnecessary losses, maybe even a break-evens, you know. But more than all, whatever the outcome of those, that thing is the stress. The stress is what you're trying to manage of that section more than anything else, because it's usually the stress which leads a lot of traders to, you know, over trading, tilt trading, playing the victim, saying, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. That's what typically happens when you find yourself in a scenario like that. Ego check. 1 2 1 2. You gotta do an ego check. Hey. Alright, so broke below support. Got a pretty nice range still, I would say. 54 pips there. Just mopping up this area. See, the idea was, you see what I mean? Like, look at this. The idea was for it to come down here, right? Come down here like this. It should have just retested it on this go, in my opinion. It should have just retested on this go, because it eventually did. You see, but it had to do a lot of this dancing. You know, it's gonna dance a bit with some accounts, but then eventually it tested the zone. And when it tested the zone, you get the reaction off of that zone now. But that was the point A right here towards that point B. Sometimes you're gonna see like the market wants to go somewhere, so it will have like a vision, right? Like it wants to go to point B. Sometimes it does it properly, but sometimes it's gonna dance a lot like this. But then it will eventually get there. It will eventually get to that point B. right? It's just a matter of like how many traders does it want involved in that journey towards this specific point B. And then every point A to point B is going to be, you know, different. It's going to be different. Some are going to be dancing a lot and some are going to be smoother like that. But your edge in the market is accepting this and then moving on to this. Accepting this and then moving on to that. Accepting this, then moving on to this. See if it dances, because now this is the next point A to point B right over here. So that's by 46, as a 46.02. Next point B is going to be by 45.96. GJ's for, oh, nice, beautiful. This GJ shotgun play just played out here. Awesome. Let's go, GJ. GJ looking clean. GJ looking clean, just like this one right here, I guess. Little shotgun entry right here, and that played out beautifully. You see, when it's moving, chat, like this is what I mean. You see what I mean? There's a point A to point B. There's a point A to point B. No stress. That's why it's the thing. The important thing is like find that perspective. I think when you start looking at it from that context, you start to understand a little bit better, right? When you start to look at that context, say, okay, so when markets want to move, they move. Correct? But when markets don't want to move, they don't move. That's all it is. A lot of the time, people take things way too personal in the market. There's no need to take it personal. The market moves when it wants to move, chat. Just take it easy. Let's see. Morning, Vic. Check Discord. I sent something. All right. Let's see. But it's giving deep drawdown beforehand. Was giving big drawdown. Gold. What is this? Imbalance or price to move up? What do you think about this short? Close 80% of BE holding around to 1 to 2. That was a good short. I think like this would be a safer short as well. We spoke about this when it was happening too, because what essentially you got in was you got in on a much more confirmed entry, because see like these entries here at the break of these lows. That would be, let's say, the first entry right here. But this entry got put into drawdown for a bit, created double resistance. Then you say, okay, so if I got my stop losses up here, then I can manage my trade here. But if I'm not yet into the trade, I can wait for an additional break of structure here so price can continue to move down bearish. You know, so you get to see that. Because typically it would not need to break these lows again if it did not want to give some kind of a push. Alright, so I think that was a pretty excellent trade over here. Ready to do just about 20 pips. Yeah, exactly like 20 pips as well. That's why we're typically looking between also that range of 20 to 30 pips before seeing any kind of like significant pullback. So you can see it just did about 20 pips to the T right over here off this setup. It gave these other guys here a pretty hard time. Boom, broke, consolidated, then rebroke to come down. Then it just gave just about 20 pips before coming back up to wipe them out, as well as you can see right here. Because some people hold longer than this. You know the thing about trading is a lot of the time it's if you're not getting the details in the journaling, then you don't see this happen and you feel like maybe the market, you know, it needed to move more than that or something like this is it's been doing like 20-30 pips and then having those retracements. Right, like look at that aggressive push up like this, and then just wiping this section out, come back down such as this. That's why we say like the market is not really your friend. Like you want to be able to be in and out as quick and safe as possible, so you kind of avoid certain thing like that happening. And it happens on the lower time frame. This also happens on the much bigger time frame. So it's a very sophisticated market. The market is very sophisticated, right? It's not random, because if it was random, it wouldn't be able to have that level of sophistication, correct? That's why you also never see like a market just go all the way straight up or all the way straight down. It will have to rebalance itself, and 90% of the time it's always just balancing itself out, correct? And it's done in a very sophisticated way, that it's on the lower time frames, it's also on the higher time frames too. And there's an edge, you know, every strategy has an edge and a specific structure. So you can't outsmart the market by just getting in random places too, because you wouldn't be able to find the consistency in getting into random places. So everyone, if you look at how everybody trades, they'll always have like some kind of structure they look at, right? There's like a wick here, a wick there, a break of the wick here, or some kind of like thing like that, can closing, you know, they have some kind of a structure, right? And each one of those systems are going to fall victim to different to the way the market balances itself out. But finding that gray zone where you think you can just do something random that you can be a lot more safe, it's not, I haven't found it, at least, because it's difficult to find the consistency in that specific endeavor. Like trust me, chat, like I've been like everybody else who tries figuring out the markets. Like when I was trading from year one, like I've experimented with a lot of pseudo sciences about the markets and how you can outsmart it, or like, you know, what structure is, what it means, and all of these things. But in the end, I kind of figured out like you just have to have a system with some kind of an edge, and just understand that it's all about discipline, consistency, showing up at the right time, giving your trades breaks in between, doing it again, and just keep doing that. Keep doing that if you got an edge, and then keep learning as well, like adapting in terms of maybe the stop loss needs to be a bit bigger. Maybe I should wait for certain more conditions, you know, small adaptations, but the system for itself will not change. Like whatever system it is that you trade, will, the integrity of the system, the foundation of it will not change. Yeah, and the other gray zone, the only other gray zone when it comes to markets that I can think of is fundamentals. That's the gray zone. That's where that gray zone exists. That's the reason why you have the guy from GME make like 20+ million off GameStop, right? Like when it comes to fundamental work, you can find yourself a nice kind of like gray area where it's safer, because like the market loves fundamentals, right? Powell cuts interest rates on the dollar. That's pretty much basic FX math. Gold will go up, you know, that, and that's a reason why hedge funds usually typically only going to use like maybe 25% technical analysis, because they like to operate within the gray zones, correct? Hedge funds, they more focus on fundamental work than technical analysis, because that's the closest thing to a gray zone or holy grail that you might find yourself in. But you're gonna take less trades, right? You gotta be a lot more patient, a lot more disciplined, actually do due diligence, actually go through the work. Warren Buffett goes through quarterly earnings. You have to be interested in news events as well, and build an understanding with your instrument and how it affects your instrument. But it only means you're going to take less trades, but, you know, maybe you're going to take higher probability trades with a higher risk. Correct? So that's another way to skin the goat. And that's the way the goat is skinned at the highest of levels. But for us as day traders, we kind of like rely on a system of consistent execution based off a strategy, right? Like this is my strategy. If I'm consistent with the strategy, I should have an edge in the long run type thing. But, you know, it's a luxury that we can do as well, because we can't move the markets with our accounts. So we can get away with strategies. But at a higher level, you create spreads. So let's say if you wanted to buy, like imagine being a scalper and you hit a buy, but you create that candlestick like that. You know, because you're a market mover. So it's not possible for you to scalp with high volume. So that's our edge. The small fishes in the ocean also got an edge, you know. Let's see. International markets. What's your opinion on AI trading and the future of trading? I think trading, you see, it's been here since the 1970s, so I don't think trading's going anywhere anytime soon. See this? We got chart work from the 1970s on TradingView here, when gold was literally $20 a troy ounce, $40 a troy ounce. Imagine that, like a whole ounce of gold, like literally this much. I think a troy ounce is how much, chat? Like 29 or is it 31 grams? But anyway, like a coin this size, literally this size of like $40 of gold. Insane. But I guess like $40 back in the day was equivalent to, because of inflation, I don't know, I guess it was equivalent to about like $4,600 today. Like if you got $40 back in the day, you got money. Got $40, got a lot of money there. But damn, like $40, 1970? 1970? Yeah, people used to have salaries of like $150. Crazy. I don't even know. I was born in 95. What was the salary like in the 70s? Anybody in the chat can share some light? How was your salary? What was a good salary in the 1970s? Or just Google this. What was a good average salary in the 1970s? Looks like a good average. Oh, wow. That's good salary in 1970s varied, but the median family income was around $9,870. That's a year. $9,870. With some individual wages from 6 to 10,000. All right, so let's just say 9,000, divide that by 12. That's what, like what, $822 a month. I mean, now the average median is like what is it in the States? 50,000. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like something like 50K. But back then, a professional salary like a flight engineer could reach up to 50,000. So that's not bad. Like 899, that's not bad. Even if you're making like, let's say, individual wages, $6,000. Divide that by 12, $500 a month. You can afford gold. You can afford a little gold. Then you pay tax. You know, you pay like 30% of that $500 right there. You still have to like pay rent and all your other bills. But still, if you earned like, you know, a relatively good salary over here, gold only about $40, kind of like a no-brainer. Now it's super expensive. Like gold is at $4,600 a troy ounce. This thing just the other day was half the price, you know? We're at $2,000. Literally like in March of 2024, we were at $2,000, chat. Actually, February 2024. $2,000. 2025, skyrocketing. We're looking already at $5,000 by the end of this year. Yeah, it's been a great run on gold. I think now it just needs to pick up a little bit more orders, so we can see if we can break above these highs by 46, 43, and then keep moving up there. I might try to take another trade. Might take another trade, but I want to see this kind of like clean up a bit more. You could buy a house for 10K back then. Yeah, I know, right? You could buy a house for like 10K. That's true. Taxes are around 70% around that time. €30 per week. Apprentice carpenter. 2 years later, €250 a week. was so funny. I saw a guy layering bricks on TikTok, and he was explaining why bricklayering pays a lot of money, and like for every brick that he lays down, he gets paid for it. You see, hourly day rate in the UK is £200, £230 per day for experienced bricklayers, depending on location. Bricklayering. And it's not bad, I guess. In a year's salary, maybe make like, 70,000 plus. 77, 80. Layering bricks. It was a weird TikTok video. It's kind of like therapeutic watching these guys do it though. Pretty smooth with it. The way they get this job here done. It's like jobs you never think about. Right? Yeah, working on the oil rigs, you get pretty good paid. Working at the oil rigs or driving a truck. Just a hustle, I guess. It's a hustle in what you do with the money. That really counts, If you're good at investing it, if you're good with money in general. Because anybody can make money. It's always a matter of keeping the money. I think most people struggle with keeping it. Even in trading, right? You can make the money in trading. Trading is the hardest way to make easy money. But it's the keeping the money, which is usually the hardest part for a lot of people. And then investing it wisely. So you want to move slow. I think like any business person, I think an advice I'd give like anybody in business is to don't seek to move fast. You want to move slow. You want to move slow and correct. When you move fast with like a lot of mistakes, Did you catch any moves in this range? Nope. Just waiting for this range to break out. There's way too many fake outs happening here. It's a little bit unpredictable. It looked clean though. On the London Open, it did look good for a little push. And we don't have any fundamental work today as well. If you see a Friday over here, all we have is Bailey. Bailey is just due to speak, but that's about it. There's no fundamental work. There's nothing. So this is more like, on Freaky Friday, what tends to happen sometimes is the volume will come in during that NY time. Like it will range, and then during NY, because the daily will have to close somewhere, you have a better chance of some kind of a distribution. Then sometimes on Freaky Fridays, we get these really big moves that happen during NY because the weekly candle here needs to close somewhere. Think about like 12 minutes, 30 seconds. It could even be a huge dump. On the fact that weekly does not have a bottom wick, it could even be a big dump, but let's see what happened. Let's see what happens. Our job is just to like react based off of what happens. So sometimes people ask me like, how do I trade the news? I don't. I just trade what happens after the news. Because I can't predict what the news happens. Because, sometimes you get these positive numbers on the dollar and then gold should go down and then gold ends up going up. Gold ends up going up and then you think the dollar goes down and then the dollar also goes up. So, you can't predict those things. So you can only react to how price reacts to those things. So we can only react to how price reacts to the fact that the weekly candle is about to close with no bottom wick. But we cannot predict that lower wick is going to be formed. My family home was built for $1,500 in the late 70s and it's now worth $200,000. So you don't buy or sell support and resistance zones, you do purely breakouts. Alright, so this morning I didn't do a breakout. I did what we call like a market fade. This is what we teach in the WAP database, in the mentorship. It's a market fade entry. So I did a market fade entry today. So I do market fade entries and what you would call like a shotgun play, which is basically a close. I sell support and buy resistance. That's what I do. Generally speaking, that's what I do. Even for all the systems. Market fades, shotguns, breakouts. It's all the same thing. See this little Fibonacci retracement here, but it was pretty deep. Pass through the golden zone. Just create a new lower low right here. Lower low, retrace up, boom. The wick passed through the golden zone, but I think the candlesticks closed right there by the golden zone. There's a 50 and 60. It's attempting to come down. This is the thing, because price is looking at these ranges and it wants to fill this ranges. Just like it was looking at ranges from here to here. It's looking at this range from here to here. It wants to fill the range, but it's doing a lot of these kind of like moves beforehand. Like it's pulling up unnecessarily, so you get a lot of like choppiness before it fills the range. Basically like what happened right over here to fill this range. Same kind of idea. From here to here, and then now from here to here. Whips. Ibik, do you mind doing NQ analysis? Alright, let's see. Let's put NQ here then, yeah. Because I know a lot of y'all trading NQ. Yeah, NQ, watch list. Which one is it? Is it mini NQ? I guess it is mini. Another one, like, alright, let's bring this up. So we got gold, silver, platinum, NQ. Oh, I feel bad for GJ. GJ is taking the back seat over there. GJ is like Pearl in that movie. You watch that kind of like horror thriller movie, Pearl? What did I do wrong? Alright, let's see. 30 minutes going up here in NQ. You know, the timing thing is a bit weird because the kill zones, do they work the same way on NQ? Yeah, I think so. We just got the London Open here. London Open NQ is looking quite choppy, but man, I love the way it filled this range. Should we try to start trading NQ? But I've never seen NQ. Let me see how it works on the 1 minute. Wait, let's see. NQ. Is there another chart for NQ? Because this one has a few gaps. This one has a few gaps, but I see some kind of breakout situations here that could play out. But anyway, like NQ is having a retracement right now. So every time you go on a new chart, you have to. Looks like I've done NQ analysis before, but anyway, when you're on a new chart, you have to look at the quarterly. All right, so quarterly is moving up bullish. You see, NQ has been performing pretty good quarter to quarter. Monthly time frame about closing 14 days. Looks like NQ already had a pullback, and now this should be the monthly to get that continuation. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 bullish candles, and then we had a retracement. Trading a support in like about 14 days. NQ is trading at $26,000. Highs at 26,400. So that's a monthly. Looks like it wants to start ripping up. But at the same time, usually PA like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see NQ consolidate a little bit longer, right? Because we still need to break through these highs. If this monthly was more bullish, let's say above here, then we could just kind of more anticipate longs, like easy longs throughout the month. But you see that monthly candlestick is actually below that resistance, right? So for this month, you can expect NQ to consolidate potentially until we start to see a little bit more exuberance coming in. Let's see a weekly time frame. Weekly is rejecting. Looks like it's pulling back up. Next week might be actually a pretty nice week for NQ. You might see a bomber cloud on NQ. If it pulls up like this, because then the next weekly candle make open up, create a bottom wick, and then pull up like that. So it's like a spring. That pull up like here like a spring, right? Like a spring. The only thing NQ is struggling with is $26,000 psychological mark right now. There on the weekly time frame. It's overall consolidating. You see, we could already tell even just on the monthly that this is going to be a range. So you can already see this range over here on NQ. So it's ranging, and the reason why it's ranging, it's trying to build up enough momentum to actually break beyond these points, correct? Like you can see the buyers are still relatively more in control 4-hour just also filled up a range from here to here. You can see it move from point A to point B. You have profit taking that just happened. That's why you see a massive candle pull down like this. It came back to retest as well previous entries down here. Correct? So that's why it came down like this. This is quite an interesting zone because even if you level it out with wicks, you can see it with the wicks as well. Like this is quite a significant point. Look at the wicks here. Look at the wick. Look at the wick. It's retesting a pretty prominent area where price moved up from. All right, and now it's trying to push up. It's still trying to push up. It's filling this range. You're gonna see it better on the hourly now, but it's trying to fill this range just the same way it filled this range on the 4-hour. We're gonna investigate this on the 1-hour, and you're gonna see it's trying to fill that same exact idea on a lower time frame. So it's about to hit the resistance by 25.84. It still has a bit more room. How do you read the pips on NQ? This is what, 161 pips? This has got like 161 pips left towards that resistance point. You see, it just did a cheeky little liquidity grab below here as well. So it's trying to push up. I'll even opened without a bottom wick. It's really trying to push up, but whenever candlesticks move like this, it means that it's losing some kind of a momentum, right? Because candles are starting to close now as small candlestick bodies, like dojis and small. So that's why it's grabbing orders here. It's fetching orders and it's trying to break above that resistance point, so it can continue moving up bullish. So yeah, 30-minute liquidity grab there. This got 20 pips now on the 30-minute. So on 30-minute, your next speed bump is going to be here. But you see, I'm analyzing mainly buys, right? NQ is up 0.50% on the daily time frame. So it has a bit more directional bias. See, the sellers are getting whipped. Getting more whips for the sellers down over there too. So go on the 5-minute, okay, we're at the top of the range here on the 5-minute. Let's go on the 1-minute. Yeah, for the 1-minute, to see a continuation to the upside, you're going to need some kind of structure here. A little bit more an accumulation, pull down, and then re-break the highs to move up bullish. Right? Because now it's at a 5-minute resistance point. And it's not going to be easy for it to get through this resistance point without some kind of accumulation distribution. But if you can get through that resistance point, even the 5-minute looks relatively clean. Move up towards this next point. And then onwards on the HTF. And then higher up on the HTF. But essentially what NQ is doing, it's struggling. There's a low volume situation over here. You know, that's why it's whiplashing a lot. It's not like a beautiful situation where you're going to have price come down like this, where it's like, okay, I get the pullback. I see the structure. I see the liquidity grab. I just wait for price to break these highs. I see the space that I have in between from here to here, then execute a trade, and it's pretty straightforward at that point. Right? Like, look at this. Look at all this confluence that you have. But then, like, where it's sitting at now, even like these previous moves, kind of more straightforward. Like, accumulates, breaks, continues, break and retest. Now, as it's coming up, you see it's whiplashing a little bit more because it's been paying out traders already. So this is where you are in the chain of orders. This is where you're sitting at. So we gotta wait for like additional confirmation here. We gotta wait for additional confirmation here. If you're looking for sells, I don't know about sells. I would rather look for buys at this time on NQ. It's like 44 pips, right? That's like 43 pips from here to here. But you see, this is a similar situation that gold was in. This is literally the same thing that gold was in, where we had like beautiful rejection wicks. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then accumulation breakout to the lows. But it's like gold was, since it got low volume on gold, what happens is like when it breaks the lows, you're having candlesticks pull back up like this. And then it comes down, it re-breaks the low, and then low volume means that it starts to pull back up like that. So that makes it kind of like difficult to trade. But it does look like currently NQ is rejecting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And on the 1 minute, there is a actually nice little breakout here. If it breaks below 25.823 zone, to come down like this. This is pretty nice. Rejection on the 5. Goldie is also closing below support. It's got like a small little shotgun play here currently in motion. It should. You know, the thing is, like, when it's moving properly, it should just fill this range. Like at this point, since it's breaking that support, Goldie should just come down. Because you got a candlestick close below it, and now next candle is breaking the previous lows. It should just come down towards 45.96 there. See, NASA's going up. Yeah, this should just come down because there's nothing really in its way. See if there's any 1 minute breaks. No, it's actually distributing like a much bigger consolidation here. From here to here. See, now it's like really breaking that general vicinity. So it really should not be pulling back up towards the zone. Should just mop this area up like this. I don't know why gold was misbehaving earlier on, you know. It's just misbehaving a bit here during the London Open. Give me a few whips. Whip for gold. Misbehaving here before moving clean, huh? NASA's nice. A buy over here, expecting to go through resistance. Gotta watch out for this. I don't know what time frame this is, but that same thing. Oh, wow, look at this. NQ's playing out here. That's what I mean. Like, this is that same thing that's happening on NQ. You have that same resistance. So you got rejection, rejection, rejection. And then look, the same thing with NQ. Rejection, rejection, rejection. But you see, NQ played out beautifully. It broke the lows of their accumulation and it distributed. I don't know why gold is acting silly today. It should have just done the same thing, because I've seen that happen like so many times. It's usually a pretty nice setup, that is. See, also like this is... wait, this is NQ. Wait, I'm tripping. This is NQ. What is this that you sent me? You said... This is the same... this looks like the same kind of like candlesticks. Wait, what? What is this? Is NQ also behind... It looks so similar. But do you have to pay for NQ feeds? Is NQ like futures where it's like behind a few candlesticks? Oh, it's a 15-minute delay. Oh, right, that's why. Yeah, I was kind of confused me here for a second. I was like, why does this chart look like this? So NQ is about to... That means NQ is about to reverse. We're about to reverse here. That's why you need to use US 100. Oh, look at the US 100 chart. Yeah, but you see, it's the same, like, it's that same, okay, you see, yeah. It's that same structure here that we had on gold. Like, that was basically the same idea for gold. Like, right over here, when gold was rejecting these highs. You see how beautiful that works? It's just a matter of, like, experience. Because you see it happen so many times. Of course, if you're new to the stream and your first time and, you know, you've been trading your own systems, then you also have your own outlook on markets, correct? But you see this is essentially the same idea. You have rejection points right over here. This is on gold. This is NQ right now. You have a bunch of rejection wicks right here. Look how similar that looks. Look how similar that looks. It's actually quite insane. Same but different, right, chat? Same but different. But you see, like, NQ setup here played out beautifully. Played out beautifully. It broke and then it distributed. Whereas on gold, it broke and then decided to like kind of like chop around a lot more. But you see, it's the same idea. It's the same idea. That's why the concepts are going to operate off across all markets. Same exact idea. This is a probabilities thing. Now it should actually keep coming down on this break. See how much did it peak at? Like 12 pips. Let's see, US 100. Oh, right. right. Okay. So US 100, then it's the same. You don't got the delay. NQ, huh? Yeah, it looks a lot cleaner on the US 100 as well. So I guess that I take it that chat trades NQ. I only trade gold. I do. Used to do GJ and DAX. I like the NQ breakouts though. I'm saying this thing has some pretty nice breaks. So what do you call it then? Because you can call it NQ, NAS, or US 100. So what do you call it? What do you call it in the chat? Because when you tell gold, you just call it gold spot, you know? Like gold coming down here. It's kind of a bit confusing. I tried NQ, NAS 100, NAS, US 100. Like what do you call it? Call it US 100? Yeah, but it has nice it looks like it's got some pretty good breaks. It looks like a gold kind of almost. Probably a lot more volume, right? See, like US 100 is let me say NQ. NQ is up 1.50% right now. See how this London session's been operating. Ooh, look at those. Oh man, look at this distribution here for the London. Yo, chat, low key, gonna start looking at NQ. I don't know about lot sizing in that. Because if gold is not moving, because like on a day like this, it's like, yeah, you can trade gold, but you know, it's consolidating. So you're gonna wait for gold maybe during a pre-NY or NY open time. If you really want to trade gold, you just have to wait for it to open up a bit better. At the same time, you could be having NQ doing some crazy moves like this. Look at this crazy distributions here. This was on this was when Thursday. Was it yesterday? Was PA on NQ really that good? Oh, nice. Look at that. Yeah, this was yesterday. Yesterday also gold didn't do anything, so you know we're just kind of sitting there. Sitting there until like pre-New York time, then I caught a buy. But we could have got like NQ. Different instruments, but similar price action on NQ and US 100. I prefer ES. It's a bit less erratic and smoother. I feel like smart money now, guys. I trade NQ. I'm an NQ trader, bro. You see that fair value gap right there? Trying to get that FVG filled. That's how I feel trading NQ. I'm not gonna cap, but it looks good. Like, look at this little breakout right here, little breaky before that London open. Very nice. I like. Yeah, I think this is what the cool kids are doing. So I gotta see what the cool kids are doing here. See another breakout. Funny thing is, like, how do you know if NQ is trending? What do you need for NQ to trade? It looks like a silver, where it's not very difficult for it to trade, to trend. Or 0. Maybe anything above 0.40% should still be good for the daily, it seems. Because this daily has already moved like quite a bit, and it's only 0.50. And maybe average true range on NQ. This is so how do you read the pips? This is 1,522 pips, right? There's like 3,000 pips. So average true range of NQ on any daily candlestick would be roughly, can we say safely 3,000 pips? Conservatively, let's say 4,000 pips. So yeah, I take the average true range based off of just the way I'm seeing candles right here. Say, okay, like, you know, 4,000 pips, maybe even a bit more, like 5,000 pips. Maybe even a little bit more than that. But you have days where price doesn't move that much. Then it'll hit around average, maybe like 5,000 pips, conservative mark, which is a bit safer. We can say like 5,000. Oh, this 500, right? Okay, so you take off the last. So this is 500. So I got 500. 500 what? Ticks? 500 points. All right, 500 points. So that means this daily candle here conservatively can still make it up towards like 25,900. 25,900. That could be the next psychological mark if price continues to move up bullish. Goldie's still trying to fill up the range. It's moving slow though, but it is still trying to fill this range down there. I'm a NASDAQ trader. Trade NAS 100. Using same setup I use on German 40 and on a NAS. And since I use 5-minute time frame, it's pretty stress-free to look at 3 pairs counting gold. You get really trending moves. I like the way it respected that break and came down towards support and had that reaction too. So I guess that would be like 9 points, right? This would be like a 10 pip move, a 10-point move from here to here. That's kind of like a GJ type of volume, right? Because on gold, this move would be like about a, like roughly similar like that would already be like 30 pips. What's the difference? Why do you say points? Why not pips? Like pips is points in percentage. So this is like 10 pips. You know, I know how to surf, but I don't know much about the surfboard. Even like when I went surfing the first time, man, I didn't know anything about the surfboard. I didn't know about the parts. I didn't know like what everything was, but I could stand on it. I could stand on it. I could catch waves with it. I would probably do just fine just with that and not knowing what the parts were. That's how this feels like. But yeah, it looks like an interesting instrument though. Looks like it has potential for sure. I like that London session breakout. It seems to have been having even yesterday. There was a London session breakout. But you see, the thing is, this happened to the downside, so it's kind of like counter trending. Because NQ right now, you can see daily bias is still bullish, so it's like a counter trend move. Look at gold. Yeah, I'm looking at gold. It's trying to come down, but it's really struggling. This is what I want to see gold fill. Gold needs to fill the support, but I think it's accumulating below support. It's giving a reversal signal, you see? Reversal signal right over here as it broke below that low. Now, if it starts to break these highs, it typically will become a bit sketchy for anybody holding sells over here. Because when price breaks the level of support and then it starts to curve like that, it's never really a good sign, correct? It should just keep going in that direction. You should be seeing candlesticks come down like this. Even if it consolidates, it should come down like this, re-break the lows, and then keep heading down towards that next target. It's going to be a magnet by 45.95. But the moment it breaks and then starts curving like this, that's usually like some kind of a warning sign right there. About to give some whips. Not a retest. Let's see. I see Vic backtesting and Q off stream. Yes, sir. Just for like the very, very straightforward, simple moves, like what we had yesterday. Like this is pretty straightforward, because you see you have market direction, like market is moving. Then you get entry confirmation for distribution. You see I distributed from that section beautifully. Whereas you can avoid certain days where it's like you want to take a trade, but then you only got to deal with this. You see, that's less straightforward. That's a little bit more dynamic, correct? You have to be quite skillful to trade that condition. But in a condition like this, you don't need as much rocket science to trade that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're just trying to catch a trade. You need to try catch a trade here, a lot more difficult, or catch a trade like this when prices already show you direction. Gold trend lines. One thing that's very important for me before the move is very often you get a liquidity grab. So you should use that in confluence with PA and hit rate increase a lot. And then situations, yeah, like you have a liquidity grab here, but sometimes it's so good that it doesn't give you the liquidity grab, then it just continues moving up, you know? Then you still want to take it because it's moving. Like you can see it moving nicely. You can imagine if there was no like liquidity grab there, but you're still seeing like the momentum. Oh, but let me see. Did it fake out once? Oh, it pulled down, a bit of drawdown, and then it continued moving up. So what would be like 20 pips would be stop loss would be right down here then. 20 pips stop loss right below that support. Oh, that's another thing you got to think about. It's like how much does the price move? Because 20 pips here would be pretty big compared to gold. You see, but in this case, it distributed nicely, more than 20 pips. But what about this sell? So look at the sell right here. Let's say you put like 20 pips stop. You see, that would have only done about like 11 pips. So now you got to look at that and say, okay, maybe, you know, 20 pips is a bit too aggressive for NQ. You see, a bit too aggressive for NQ, so maybe we're gonna reduce that. We put like 10 pips could be safe. This just about tap like that 10 pip mark before reversing. But this one distributed for around 10 pips. Yeah, so I feel like it has something to do with like 10 pips. You can quickly see this with any instrument that you trade, right? The story is more or less the same. Like on gold, it's like 20 pips. Potential reversals, 30 pips, potential reversals. On NQ, it seems like it's about 10 pips, because also like volume seems to be smaller, right? So it's 10 pips. So looking at maybe 10 pip stops. You see how accurate that is? Came down here just about 10 pips at entry confirmations and then went up. And then here as well, 10 pips at profit taking and then went up. It was about 11 pips. So that's how we do it, chat. Like I think like any instrument can kind of like fall in line in those parameters when you kind of break down. You don't have to always start from scratch. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Like once you have some kind of a foundation, then you're gonna see if that makes sense on other instruments. And I think it does. Oracle co-founder has just christened his new German-built yacht blissfully unaware that reversing the name produces the phrase "I am Nazi." Oh wow. I mean, he probably named the boat, didn't he? So he meant to do that. But that's wild. That's wild. Let me see. Larry Ellison had to change the name of one of his yachts after finding out it's spelled "I am Nazi" backwards. Who would name the yacht for him? This guy's so rich, he's just buying yachts. He's like, yeah, just buy me a yacht and name it. Larry has plenty of other ways to spend his time and money. He recently spent $30 million on a safari park in Florida and $24 million to buy 2 units in Pierre that has been owned by a Redstone family. He has owned a series of increasingly large super yachts, including a 191-foot boat he named Izanami. Yeah, then if he named it, then come on, man. Like, that's not an accident. Until it was pointed out that the name spelled "I am Nazi" backwards. There's no way that he named it this randomly and is like, oh, that's a good name. And then later find out that it's called "I am Nazi" backwards. And I'd be like, oh, I didn't know that. Come on now. I'm trying to lie here, Larry. But well, people want to change the name. It's like that app in China. It's called "I Am Not Dead." This is the most downloaded app in China right now. It's the most paid for downloaded app in China. Oh, it's called "Are You Dead?" Are You Dead app. So basically, you know, the idea behind this thing, it's every 2 days, you have to press on this button here. And if you don't press on this button, then your emergency contacts are going to be contacted. And it's going to send them a message like, hey, you know, you can check on my well-being if I'm okay. This is the most paid for app in China currently. And people want them to change the name because, you know, Chinese are very superstitious. So just downloading the app, they say feels quite ominous that they're downloading this app over here. So they're like, can you change the name? But it's quite interesting. It goes to show a lot in terms of people's mental health. And it's a way to kind of help loneliness. It's not a cure for loneliness, but it feels like it plays on your psychology to make you feel like you're not so alone. You know, and it's quite interesting. Because just by tapping that, you feel at least somebody could respond if you don't tap it. And it's so simple. I think that's the market right there. So when you're gonna think of these things, think about mental health. You know, mental health is a big thing. It's a big industry. We make a lot of money in mental health. Just look at what Kai Cenat is doing. Kai Cenat's probably gonna start a brand surrounded around mental health. That's currently what he's doing. He's gonna make a lot of money. Kai Cenat is one of the biggest live streamers in America. And recently he's been doing a lot of mental health stuff. But you see, people sometimes they don't see it. But from like a business oriented perspective, you can see that the guy is about to secure some bags. Like this was so corny, man. He copied Kanye West type style with the beige colors and the hills and everything. That was super corny. But you see, starting like a fashion brand now, and yeah, he's gonna be like milking this market soon. I think like entrepreneurs see the world a bit differently. You know, like you see the world, most consumers are gonna see from a consuming perspective, like they just want some kind of a Netflix. But entrepreneurs see the world in terms like, oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah, you could make some money like that. Can we consider that a retracement? Yeah, this could be like a retracement, but that's the thing with gold. It's quite choppy. So it's like breaking lows, then retracing, and then going down, breaking lows, retracing. It can be quite difficult to trade. But you see, the idea is still holding weight because price is supposed to come down from this point It was supposed to come down, retest the support, and then continue to move down. You see what I mean? But it's doing too many of these like pullbacks. But you see, it's testing the support. It's supposed to be like a running trade. And this trade is supposed to run down towards 45.95 right over there. Like this entry, my TP was 7 pips and max movement ended up being 12 pips. You can have a zombie rally all London, then just a nuclear dump US Open. NQ. To US 100. Put this on the watch list since we're doing forex. Now it's going to try the high again. Now it's stuck in it's US 100 stuck in support. In a range as well. It's just accumulating a bit longer. I think the breakout of this should be nice. There's the Asia highs. Once it starts breaking above 25,684 over there. It's gonna go about towards the Asia highs by 25,690. That's trickling. See that trickle effect? That's typically what I talk about. When the market doesn't want to pay out people, you're going to see this happen quite a lot. It's that trickle. Create new low, pull back up, create a new low, pull up, create a new low. Going to LG and then move.
On that beat, going crazy.
What's your thought about market experiences for gold? Kindly expand on that. I think it's this trend line in respect. See gold. Yeah, this trend line here is about to get disrespected though. I think, did we already break it? 5 minute. Oh yeah, we broke it. We broke the trend line, pineapple. No more trend line. Secure 24 pips trading within the bigger range since breakouts are given fake outs. Yeah, awesome. It's really awesome because this is so much barcoding here. Hey, good morning, Doug. Change your name. Valpine Plays. US 100 also doesn't have like anything too interesting in terms of PA because it's coming down into a support. Little bit of support here. You got some rejection wicks. 15-minute, 5-minute. I mean, not the best PA to be honest. Generally speaking today. Hope everyone's rested and ready to bumper clot the year. Yeah, I've been bumper clotting this month as well. I think on average I've been taking like 3 trades a day. On average. Remember chat, like I post all my trades. Like just go on the Discord, go on my YouTube, click on the link right here. You're gonna see the signal, you're gonna see the trades, the C trader. I've been taking quite a lot of trades. Like even the 14th was wild. Wednesday was crazy though. But it was crazy. 5 freaking trades. But a minimum, I would say like I've been aiming for at least, if anything, 2 trades. 2 to 3 trades a day. This is also wild here on the 7th. Took about 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. But you see that over trading there was a bit more risky, I felt. Because of these losses. Lost back-to-back losses and I still took another trade. But this one was not as bad. Took a win, loss, win, made it back, loss, and then win, then I called it a day. Today I've taken a win, loss. Yeah, that's it. That is it. I like this trade in the morning because it had the fake out, it had the market fade, and it also had the consolidation breakout as well. And it had also a nice little running opportunity. But since gold has been a bit choppy, we had price come down and then it went up again. It chopped and then went down to fill the range. Whereas typically we would just see the candlestick here, maybe create even a support, and then just keep coming down such as this to fill that support region. You know, and then yesterday, what did we do yesterday? Buys. We had 1 buy, and then we took another buy here, and that was it. I'm gonna start putting the circle so y'all can see it better. Where the entries were. These are over trades. Buy. Let's took a sell here and then took another sell here. Chat, like only 2 trades a day. 2 to 3 trades a day. That's it. Oh, it did actually distribute. It broke the high. Remember, so this was that reversal. That was that reversal pattern. As price was breaking below support, it actually ended up breaking the highs, and then it distributed like decent enough, like about 16 pips, 17 pips over there. That was that reversal sign. Yeah, that could have wiped people out. That was like a 26 pip move up if you took it on the break of the lows for the sellers looking for that range to get filled. Making a top wick on the hourly, then back down. Oh yeah, we just got a new hourly. It could be. It's been quite aggressive. Like even if you look at this pullback, look at the size of this hourly pullback here on the previous hourly. Pull all the way up here to reflip to come down and close bearish. So it could be doing the same thing. It could pull up, top wick, and then come back down to fill that range on the 5 minute. But it's got 56 minutes to do that. Buy that sheet. Look at this. It's still also playing out the fake out here. They were closed below that support and still reversing back upwards. They're still doing a little fakey situation there. Because it already broke support. It would be nice to see it just come straight down. 49.50, 45.95. Let's read some fundamentals. India's silver's imports up 129% on prices rise, supply concerns. Silver is emerging as a key driver in India's import bill in the current fiscal, even as its total value remains far lower than that of gold and petroleum. The sharp rise stands out against a broader trend in import growth. The surge in silver's imports has been driven by a sharp rise in prices closely linked to global developments. Yes. China is a major silver producer and processors announced stricter approval-based export rules. Silver is expected to remain firm throughout 2026. They say the silver is becoming like basically like a gold in terms of the kind of value it has. You know, we look at gold as having more value because obviously gold, but silver is starting to have the same amount of shine. Because it has a lot more useful properties as well than gold. Gold is more like a wealth conservation commodity, whereas silver is used in literally all electronics. Trading at $91 right now, whereas gold is at $4,600. But imagine a universe where silver bypasses gold. I mean, with where we're heading, technology-wise, I mean, silver is not looking like a bad investment. You know, this is not investment advice, but yeah, I mean, like, look at this thing, close to 100. $250. Sheesh. I wonder what happened here in the economy. This was in 1980s. Why did silver crash? Then we saw a boom in 2010. Boom in 2010. Price retraced. Man, why does silver crash like this though? Then we got like another boom here from 2024. PCB's lane. I was not sure why it. Yeah, I can't wait for Goldie to start breaking out. There's way too many of these pullbacks. See, like right here, here. Doing a small one right there too. Every time we get like an equal measure of sellers, we get buyers. Sellers, buyers. Sellers, buyers. So I try to push down. It filled a little bit of this range. Let's see if it filled like 65%. No, not even 65%. Filled a little bit of the range, not too much of it. There's still a little bit of space down here though. Just about like 29, 30 30 pips. Buy's not strictly looking too appetizing because you have these resistance points right here too. So price is going to really struggle to get through these points. Boom, boom. But I think if price starts to come down, you can see it like break below that support and then continue to move down towards this next support. Like 30 pips, but it's kind of boring. Boring PA here. Daily is down 0.24%, so we're not seeing much direction. All right, chat. I think I'm gonna call this a stream over here. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. I'm gonna wait, and maybe Goldie is gonna clean up much later on. But yeah, right now it's too much consolidation. Like this is literally not doing anything. It's too much pullbacks, so you can't get much of a follow through of any kind of a direction over here. It's like kind of watching paint dry. So I think I'm gonna go and do something else. Maybe in the next hourly time frame. Hourly candle, that price on gold can move somewhere, right? Maybe it can move somewhere. So let's do a bit of analysis, see where that could be. The only clean range I'm seeing for now is below the support. It's by 4600 psychological mark, which is also a nice little confluence here to have. 4600 and then down towards 40. What is this? 4595 area over there. Alright, that 4600 looks a lot more appetizing. Buys above here, not as much. You have so much resistance to get through. We're gonna need some Freaky Friday volume to come in and like blow through these levels. Because if we can blow through these levels, let's say a candle does this, then we can have structure form. Like a little bit of structure form, and then we're like, okay, yeah, price is moving again, and we can see that flow of PA. You know, we can see it open up and spread out a bit more. But if we don't get even that burst, then I don't know. We're just going to end up like struggling to break these zones. I think it's currently trying to retest that area. I think the burst might be coming in, but we need something to blow through these levels over here. Because as of right now, the only thing that looks pretty good is below 4600. See from here to here, that's about like 22 pips. Yeah, we need like situations like this, like candle volumes to start coming in again. Then avoid these whips. There's unnecessary whips right here, here. And wait for candlesticks to start operating like this. Ideally. This is what I want to see. That's what we had this morning as well. So we had volume and it just increases probabilities for trades to play out. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit on my hands until that happens. Probably give it up until... Well, it could happen even soon. But yeah, I'm gonna give it maybe like a few 30 minutes, maybe an hour. We'll see how PA develops. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. As always, I will see y'all next week. And yeah, let's get this. Let's get this. I will see you all. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Adios.